Yesterday we were looking at how to read the expand class so that we can give right implementation and right output to the user, right? So basically, let's say if you look at it, whether we can expand up to order to items, or we can expand one more level deep, item to product. So when we are implementing get expanded entity set, if we read this expand class so that we can provide proper implementation for that request, right? That's what we were discussing yesterday.
Yes.
This is the expanded entity set. Okay. This is what we are implementing, but inside, if we can read what is the expand class that user has requested, then we can implement this this method effectively. Okay. So where can I see that expand class? Actually, for this data provider extension class, there are attributes, right? So if you look at the attributes, there is something called mr underscore request underscore details. So if we look at, so if you are working on 7.01 or something, you have get expand method where it will give you the expand class, but since we are on 7.4, we don't have that method. Instead, we can use this attribute of the data provider class extension. Okay, mr underscore request underscore details, which is of type this one, IWBEP interface MGW core SRV runtime, and this is the type of this attribute. Let's say if we go to this type, we can see, so this is the type which belongs to this interface. Let's look at this type, right? And in this type, there is a attribute called parameters. Okay, there is attribute called parameters which is of type table value pairs. Okay, so if you look at this table type, the line type is this one, and the line type, if you look at, it will receive name and value pairs. I will show you type table of this one, and I will show you in runtime how you receive that expand class, but we are going to use this attribute mr underscore request underscore details of the data provider class extension. Okay, so on the data provider class extension, I have this attribute called mr underscore request details. In this request details, we will get all the information regarding the request that is received by the framework. Okay, so let me show you during runtime how it looks like. Okay, this is my service. What I will do is, I will just say expand equal to order to items. Okay, and I'm going to request the response in JSON format by adding the query option $symbol format equal to JSON. Okay, let me keep a breakpoint in the expand ZCL 5 EPM. Okay, I go to the data provider class extension and I go to the get expanded entity set method. Okay, so I will see what kind of information that I receive in mr underscore request underscore details. Okay, so let me run it. So let's say, this is the attribute that I can see, right? mr request details. So this is a structure. Okay, if you look at it, you will get all the details of the request. Okay, so you have lots of information. What is the source entity, what is the target entity, similar to like that, but we are looking for the parameters attribute of this. If you look at the parameters attribute, you receive 3 rows in the table. So let's go and look at it. So if you look at it, the first key value is dollar format value equal to JSON. The second one is expand whatever the class that we mentioned, name, value is whatever we have passed from the NetWeaver gateway client. So once we have this information, we will look at whether it is order to items or order to items slash item to product. Then we can implement the method correspondingly. Okay, so you guys clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I will do is I go to this method. Okay, what I will do is first I will read. Okay, first I will read that parameter table. Okay, first I will read the table. Okay, then I will translate that into uppercase. The information that we received is this one, right? So we will just simply translate it into, we read this table with the key name equal to $expand. Okay, because this is the key value pairs that we received. Translate value to uppercase, right? So once I have that value, let's say, there are only two choices that I am going to implement this method for, equal to either other two items or equal to, sorry, as we have translated into uppercase other two items. Okay, other two items slash item to product, right? So these are the two cases, and if so inside I will see what did I receive. Okay, if it is other two items, because there is some common code that we are going to execute. If the expand clause is one of it, okay, if other two items, else if other two items to item to product. Okay, and if earlier we have implemented this for other two items, right? So let me just get rid of this one. I don't need, I already have this value. Okay, so all this is corresponding to, all this is corresponding to other two items implementation. I will show you one line by line. We have already discussed it. Okay, I'm going to keep all the data types which applies for both the expand classes outside of this and if. Okay, so if it is one of it, okay, I'm going to call this order to, I'm going to call this BAPI underscore EPM underscore SPO underscore get list. I'll put it in the first if, because this is common whether you are getting other two items expand or item to, other two items slash item to product. So let me do the, so let me walk through what we have done. Okay, I have kept all the local data definitions which apply for both the expand clauses, okay, up to this one. Then I read, I read MR request details to see what is the expand clause, okay? Then I translate it into uppercase. Let's say if the expand class is one of it, other two items or other two items slash item to product. What I will do is I will read three sales orders, okay? Then based on whether it is order to items or item to product, I will define the corresponding data types, and I loop through the header data and I pass the header data. Later I get the item details, okay? And once I have got this this expand structure, I'm just going to call the copy data to reference. This is all we discussed in the I think Monday session, okay? So towards the end, so I'm going to add insert into ET expanded tech classes, okay? So what are we going to insert? This is the whatever the expand class that um, user has sent, okay? Okay, in the table, did you follow what we have done?
Yeah, sort of. I mean, we'll have to practice it.
What we have done is, we looked at the expand class. Let's say if the expand class is order to items or item to product, then we implemented this method. Then we implemented some kind of logic, right?
Mm.
Does it make sense or is it still confusing to you?
No, no. I mean,
Um,
we'll just have to remember how to get those details.
yeah, to get these details, right, as we have discussed, this data provider class and this data provider extension class has attributes. Since these are public or protected attributes, you can refer these attributes inside your methods, right?
Hmm.
And one of the attribute is mr underscore request underscore details. This attribute contains all the information about the request, okay, which is of type, which is of type, which is of type this interface. You go to types, which is of type this one, ty underscore s underscore mgw underscore request context. If you look at this structure, it consists of lots of attributes. One of the attribute is parameters. So in these parameters, you will receive, your expand class, your format option, everything in it. Does it? Can you follow?
Yeah, yeah.
So once we receive this information, right? Once we, read these parameters. Once we read this, expand class. We have, we got to implement this method only for either order two items or item two. Either order two items or
Order to items slash items to products.
item to product. These are the only two eligible options which you need to implement logic for. If it is something else, you just ignore because we don't have any other case, right?
Right.
So what I have done is I simply just changed the code around. Let's say now if I request for order to item slash item to product, it don't give you any details because we have not yet implemented. Let's say let me come to this. So let's say I just say order to items slash item to product, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we look at this, LT, we read these parameters from the MR underscore request details. If we look at it, these are the key value pairs that we received. The first one is format. What is the format that we are requesting for? It is JSON format. The second one is what is the expand class that user is requesting for. Let's say, so this is what we have passed, right? That is what you have received in the expand key. So once we read it, I'm just translating that value into uppercase, right?
Yeah.
So it is item to product. So we are executing this logic if it is either one of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it is, so we are simply not doing anything, right?
Right.
So in this case we don't get any results because we have not implemented this method. We have not implemented the get expanded entity set method for this expand class, right? So
Right.
let's just take this item to product, right? So we do the same thing again, but since we have implemented this time, let's look at what is this expand class, order two items, right? Then we read the sales order. Since it is order two items, we are just looping through and prepare that information. And we will receive the corresponding information. So sales order, since we read three sales orders, we receive the first sales order, and in the order two items, we put all our sales order items. And if you see item to product, it says deferred. We did not implement this yet. Okay. So you just
Mm-hmm.
receive all the sales order items for these three sales orders. So if you are clear up to this, I will go ahead and implement the method for order to item slash item to product.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's why I'm insisting you to practice. Otherwise, I mean, let's say after 2 months, if you wanted to look it back, probably you would figure it out. I'm sure about it. But I mean, to put all the things in perspective, it is a little bit tough. So, I mean, just practice it.
Mhm.
Okay. What I'm going to do is now I'm going to create the data structures. In the case of item to product, right, I will create the data structure. My data structure, okay, I'll just call, since I have already declared this, I'll just say XO, right? I'll just say SO. In this case, initially I include this, let me create first for the sales order items. Okay. In the sales order item, I include the sales order header details, sales order item header details. Type this one is sales order item. Then I will include the navigation property from sales order item to product. Item to product, type type
Type it will be of that product, right?
product. Yeah. So it is just product. If you look at the model provider class extension, you will see all these types. Okay.
Yeah.
So now the sales order, now when I create the data object for the expanded sales order, I will include I mean the sales order header data, and the next one is type table of, instead of the sales order item, I will include this one. I will just say like table of this one. You guys understand?
Yeah.
So we just look at the, we will just look at, I mean if you look at this structure, I mean this is what we want to do. Initially we will have sales order item, no, sales order header data. This is the sales order header data. Then we will have order to item navigation property, which is of type table of sales order item, and on the sales order item you will have another navigation property called item to product, right? So that is what I have done. I mean, in the sales order, in the expand sales order, I will include the sales order header data. Then I will include a table of this expand item. In the expand item, I will have sales order item header, sales order item data, and I will have navigation property called item to product, which is of type product. You got it?
Yeah.
Then we will loop through since in the outer if itself we have read all the three sales orders. This one contains the header data and LT item contains the item data, right? So what I will do is I will just read it. I will just loop it. So once I have this one, I will move corresponding ls header to this one. I will define the ls expand so like table of t expand so. Okay. So now I move this corresponding data to ls expand so. Then I look at the item data. Item where SOID equal to ls header hyphen SOID. Okay, the end loop, and here I will create ls right. Then once I have this item data, I will move corresponding ls item to ls expand so item. Okay, then we will read the product details, right? So in order to read the product details, this is the information that we want. Okay, 1 second. I will put it there. Data ls product type. Okay. Then I will read this, I will call this function module product ID is I can get it from ls item underscore product ID, right? And the header data for product. Okay. Then once I get the product data, I will just pass this product data to ls product to product. So once I have it, once I got this data, I will append this to sales order expand to ls expand s4. Okay, then I will clear this so that the loop will continue till all the items are, or okay, and I will clear ls product. I will clear ls item, right? Then when I'm done here in the outer loop, I will append this ls expand to the corresponding table. Can you follow, guys?
Yes.
So I read the sales order header data and I pass it to the expand as well. Then I loop through the all the items and I pass the item data, and next I will get the product details and I will pass the details too. Okay. So once I have all this data in this endif, now I get data, right? Now I got to do this again. This copy data to ref, and I pass this lt expand as well. lt expand s4 so that I will get the entity set. Then whatever, whether it is either other two item or other two item slash item two product, I will insert that expand class. Here we don't need to create constants. Whatever we have received, we are just translating into uppercase and adding it to the et underscore expanded underscore tech classes. Okay, that's it. So let us debug. Let's see. So I will add other two items to item 2 product. Right. So I will look at it. I will look at the name value pair. It is other two items slash item 2 product. Right. Other two items slash item 2 product. So we go into the second, into the else. We read the sales orders, then we go to the header data, then we loop through the item data. Sorry, type conflict when calling a function module. 1 second. I think we need to do that. 1 second. We need to do conversion exit even for the.
No, not for product.
1 second. Let's see. Ls item underscore product ID. This one is fine, right?
Yeah, that looks fine. Yeah. Maybe the ls product is not defined correctly.
Okay. Yeah. This should be a structure. I know. Okay.
Mm,
If we look at the if we look at this function module,
yeah.
so if we look at the import parameter, this is a structure which has product ID. So let me create
Right.
a structure. Okay, let's call again. Okay, we'll look at the expand class. Since it is other two items underscore product, it comes here. we'll get the so let's just keep a breakpoint towards the end. So if we look at the expand as well, if we look at the table structure, we will first receive in the first hierarchy, we will receive the sales orders. And in the sales orders, we have a navigation property called item to other two items, which is of type table. If we go to this table, we will see all the sales order items. And in it, we have a navigation property called item to product, which is of type structure. We will receive the corresponding product details. So similarly, if you look at the second structure, you will receive the other product. You got it, guys?
Yeah.
So if you look at the details now, basically you will have sales order header information in the first level. In the second level, you have a navigation property called other two items, which is of type, which is of cardinality n. Then inside you will have an array of sales order items. And if you look at a sales order item, the item to product navigation property is also expanded, right? Okay. Somehow this is, when we represent here, this thing got messed up. In the if you look at the this one, even if you look at the ER entity set, you will receive this information. You will, in the first level, you will receive sales order header data, and on each sales order you will have a navigation property. You will have a navigation property called other two items, which is of type table. And if you look at it, you will have all the different sales order items, but on each sales order you will have a navigation property called item to product. And on each, that item to product, you will get the product details, right? So if you look at it, the first, you first got sales order, one second, sales order item data. You will get sales order item, one second. So let's see how it appears here. Other two items, this one is fine. And in the other two items you have product, and again you will get the second sales order item, then you will get the second product. You get all those sales order items, okay? You will get all those sales order items for that corresponding sales order, and in that sales order item you will get the product. See, this is sales order item 50, and I mean you have product H7-1007 associated with it. In the item to product, we are expanding that product ID and its information. Similarly, for sales order item 60, you have product ID HT-110, 1010. So in the add item to product expand, you will get that corresponding product information. So let's look at the second sales order. Now we get the second sales order, it is 5,000,001, right? Then we will get all the sales order items in the navigation property called order to items. And in the order to items, you will get the first sales order item information, which is 10, with product ID HT-1030. Then in the item to product, expand, you will get that product details, right? Then you will get the second sales order item corresponding to this sales order 5,000,001. The item number is 20, which has HT-1031 product. In the expand item to product, we will get that product details. You got it, guys? How we got all the expand and all?
It looks
Yeah.
good now. Just come down at the last
Yeah.
post.
So this is still sales order 5,000,001. The third sales order is 5,000,002, right?
Yeah.
Then in the other two items, you will get the uh, corresponding sales order items. The first one is 10, and the product is HT-1040. In the corresponding expand item to product, we get that corresponding product details. So we got the second sales order item on that product, and in the item to product, we will see the corresponding product.
Yes. It looks good now.
Yeah, so similarly, if you just say item to product instead of order to item slash item to product, you will get just the items. Here, we did not get item to product expanded because we did not request it. So we just get the sales order items. And in the second sales order, 5,000,001, we got all the sales order items in the navigation property expand order to items. But we did not get the expanded value of the item product navigation property. Okay.
Mm.
So similarly, what we have done is instead of using framework expand, we have used this method called get underscore expanded entity set. So we can provide how to expand this. Let's say if in the case of if we use so here we just called the get sales order items function module only once, where we received all the item information too. Let's say if we use framework expand, we might have called this sales order get details method so many times. Okay, so we have saved a lot of RFC calls in the data provider expand implementation. Okay.
Yes.
So similarly we have expanded entity too. Let's say if I say now we got to take into consideration, let's say if we say like this, we are expanding just one entity. Here the sales order that I am requesting is 5,000,001 and its corresponding other two items, meaning its corresponding sales order items. We got to implement this method. Okay. So in the data provider in the data provider extension class, you have another method called get underscore expanded entity. I'm going to redefine it. Okay. So in this also I read this request parameter and I will get the expand. Okay. So similarly I'm going to translate value to uppercase. Okay. If this value is equal to other two items or item to product. Other two items slash item to product. In either case, I'm going to get, I will show you how to, where we receive the sales order that we have passed in the, since it is the source, we get this information in the IT underscore key tab. I think I don't need to explain it to you or why you receive, because whatever you have passed in the first source, you will receive in the IT underscore key tab. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to say data ls key tab type, I'll choose the line type. Okay, so I will have this value, so I will use read table IT underscore key tab into ls underscore key tab with the name, with key name equal to so underscore id. Okay, once I get this information, I'm going to call this so get detail, where we receive both sales order header data and sales order item information, right? So I'll say data ls S4 header type this S4 header and data ls item data type this one, okay, and data lt item underscore data type
Table
table
of
of
LAPI APM.
yep. Then we receive this item data, then we call this function module, okay, no sorry. And since this let's get the sales order ID structure. So we know and once we have this value sales order ID, we got to call this conversion exit ls key tab fun value and you receive it in ls s4 id s4 underscore id, okay, and I pass this information here and in here I'll say ls s4 header, right? Once once I read this information, then I will look at what is the expand class, because for expand class are the two items or are the two items slash item to product, you need both these details. So I will look at I'll say this if other two items, else if other two items to item to product, right? And if I'm just going to say whatever the value that I received in the expand class, I'm just going to insert et underscore expanded underscore tech classes, right? So if it is other two items, I'm going to define a data type expand SO end of the expand SO. Okay, initially I will include 1 second. Okay, I'll get the information from here. The expand entity set, you will have I will include TS sales order and I will include the navigation property order to items which is of type sales order item because we are only expanding this one up to order to items, so this is fine, right? So once I get this data, once I define this data object, I will loop through, I'll say data ls expand SO like this type. Okay, then I'm going to say move corresponding LSSO header to ls expand SO. Then we loop through item data into ls item data and loop. Okay, this is where SO ID equal to ls SO header SO ID. Okay, once we got this data, we are going to append this ls item data to the navigation property ls expand SO hyphen add two items. Then I'm going to clear ls item data. That's it. Then once I have all the information, I got to convert that data into ER entity. Then I'm going to copy, I'm going to call this method data to ref, exporting is data equal to this ls expand s4, and you receive changing CR data equal to ER underscore entity. So out of this if, whatever the user has passed us in the expand class, we are just adding it to et underscore expanded underscore tech classes table. Okay, let's save it. Let's check the syntax. So you followed me, right? What we have done is we have just implemented this method to accommodate the request order to items expand. We still got to
Yes.
do this for order to items to slash item to product.
Item to product.
So let's just activate it. Okay, let's just call it from, we'll just say up to this. So now we will get the sales order and its information, and in the order to items we will get all the sales order items, but not the item to product. We did not expand item to product. We'll get sales order item 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay.
Yes.
Any questions, guys?
No.
No.
Let me quickly implement this method for order to item slash item to product too. Okay. So let me just copy some code. Uh, okay, data begin of T expand SO
S1.
item. Okay, so end of then we will include
Type.
type.
Sales order item.
Yeah, sales order item. Okay, then we will have navigation property item to product. Okay, type
T by product.
this one like table of T expand SO item. Okay, so we will do this same thing, move corresponding, let's just say here we will create a data variable ls expand sales order type T expand, I mean it should be like sales order. Okay, we'll simply say move corresponding ls S4 header to ls expand sales order. Okay, then we loop at the item data. Okay, then we pass the, and we need ls expand SO item like T expand SO item. Okay, then we will move corresponding ls item data to, okay, then we got to call the product information. Okay. Then we'll call this again similar like we have called product ID ls product. Let me get rid of this data. Product underscore ID equal to just pass this product ID. Okay. So once we get the product information, we'll just say move corresponding ls product to this ls data ls expand SO item hyphen item to product. Once we got this one, we're going to append ls expand SO item to ls expand sales order hyphen order to item navigation property to items. Okay, so we're going to clear ls product, we are going to clear ls item data, we're going to clear ls expand sales order item. Okay, then after the loop we get the ls expand sales order. Then we will use this copy underscore data to ref in order to transform whatever the information that we got into er underscore entity. Data to ref exporting is data equal to,
We'll have to somewhere append even the ls expand sales order also, right, into LT.
no, this is just one sales order information, right? I mean,
Mm,
in the earlier case, we are just giving a bunch of sales orders,
yeah, yeah, true.
and inside we are expanding its items and its products.
Right, right.
Here we
Yeah,
will
got it.
just have one sales order, but we are going to expand other two items, and inside the other two items, each sales order item will expand its product.
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Okay, changing CR data equal to ER underscore entity. Okay, in either case, whether it is order to item or order to item slash item to product, whatever the value that we have received in the expand class, we are just going to send it back in this table, et underscore expanded underscore tech classes. Okay, so let me save it. ls item data is not okay. Okay, so we are good. So let me execute it. So now instead of other two items, I'm going to say item to product. So if you look at it, we got the sales order header information, and in the other two items navigation property, we got all the sales order items, but we are expanding the item to product also, where we receive the product.
Mm-hmm.
And we get the second sales order item, but we expand this HT-1031 product too. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So this is about framework expand versus data provider expand implementation.
Mm. Hey, so the same URI can also be called as sales order items, right?
What is that?
No, the same URI
Uh-huh.
can also be called as sales order items
Uh-huh.
and provide the key that is sales order and the
Yeah, from the sales order item, we can just expand the item to product.
product, right?
Yeah, but we did not implement that logic, right? We got to implement.
Right, right.
Yeah. Then we look at that property, and we will look at what is instead of order to items and order to item slash item to product, we will just look at item to product.
Right,
Then in the ls key, in the IT key tab, we will receive sales order and sales order item as keys.
correct.
Then
Yeah.
you do it accordingly.
Right, right.
Yeah. I think that is it for today. If you don't have any questions.